You're standing shoulder to shoulder in a house made of mud. Wood smoke stings your eyes. A goat shifts in the corner, and somewhere behind you, a baby coughs. Outside, 10,000 people are packed into the biggest town on Earth. It's 5,000 years ago, and this is basically the world's first apartment complex. Same broken plumbing, worse neighbors. You don't know it yet, but something is already moving through these walls. Something with no name. It won't be written down for another 3,000 years, and by the time anyone thinks to record it, half the people you know will already be gone. Here's the thing. When you picture a deadly plague, you probably picture the Black Death. Rats, cobblestones, doctors in beak masks. But that's the sequel. The deadliest killers humans ever faced may have struck thousands of years before anyone could write the word for fever. And we only found them by accident. In 2019, a team publishing in the journal Cell went looking in an unlikely place. The teeth of a woman buried in Sweden almost 5,000 years ago. Teeth are tiny time capsules. The pulp inside can trap the DNA of whatever was in your blood when you died. Geneticist Nicholas Raskovan and his colleagues cracked hers open. Inside, they found Yersinia pestis, plague, not a cousin of it. The real thing, in a body that died around 3000 BC. To put that in perspective, this woman was already ancient history when the pyramids were new. And she's not even the oldest case we've found. Now here's the complication. We tell the story of plague like it starts in the history books. The plague of Athens in 430 BC. The plague of Justinian in 541. Those feel impossibly old already. But that Swedish woman predates Athens by 2,500 years. Turns out, the plagues that left the deepest scars left no words at all. No historian. No chronicle. No death toll. Just bodies, and the microscopic wreckage still hiding in their bones. Which raises a genuinely unsettling question. If the worst outbreaks in human history were never written down, how would we even know they happened? And that Swedish grave wasn't a fluke. In 2015, a separate study in Cell found plague DNA in 7 different people scattered across Eurasia, from Siberia to the Baltic. 2 years later, researchers traced the same strain deeper still, calling it the Stone Age plague, and showing it clung to the continent for thousands of years. So this wasn't one bad winter in one village. This was a killer with a passport, moving across an entire continent while it was still mostly forest and footpaths. But here's the question that should be sitting in the back of your mind. Where does a plague like this even come from? Stop and think about it. You need a lot of people, crammed together, with animals, and no idea what a germ is. And 5,000 years ago, humans had just invented exactly that. In what's now Ukraine and Moldova, farmers built something the world had never seen. Mega settlements. Towns of thousands of houses, arranged in giant rings. Some may have held 10,000 people or more, which made them, briefly, the largest human settlements on the planet. And they were death traps, waiting to happen. Packed housing. Shared animals. Grain that drew rats. No sewers. No soap. No clue. Raskovan's team argued this was the birthplace. That plague was practically an invention of the crowded town itself. And here's the eerie part. Right around then, those megatowns start emptying. Across Europe, farming populations crash in what's called the Neolithic decline. For years, the blame went to climate, or war, or exhausted soil. But now, there's a new suspect in the room. And it was hiding in their teeth the whole time. So here's the mechanism, and it's the part that changes how you see it. This early plague was different from the medieval one. That 2015 study found it was missing a key gene, the one that lets modern plague ride inside fleas. In other words, it probably didn't need rats at all. It likely spread the way a cold spreads, breath to breath, in those airless, crowded houses. The very thing that made those towns a triumph, thousands of people living wall to wall, is the exact thing that could have hollowed them out. We can't prove the plague emptied them. We can only prove it was there when they emptied. But it's the best suspect we've got for the deadliest killer no one ever wrote down. And that math never really went away. You're probably watching this in a city right now, wall to wall with strangers, sharing air on a train, one bad cough from the person beside you. The town got bigger. The rules didn't. So tell me in the comments, what do you think really emptied those first great cities? The plague, the climate, or something we haven't found yet? Picture that wood smokehouse again. The goat. The cough behind you. Something was already moving through the walls. It still is.